Hi guys, welcome to Marikit Studios. Today I'll be doing something really new. It's something that I haven't thought that I'll be doing at this point of my art career, but here we are. I painted something last week that you guys really liked, and so we are going to paint this or recreate this one in a traveler's notebook. I'll be using a traveler's notebook standard size in Fabriano 200 GSM student grade paper, and I taped it with washi tape so it has borders. Now I am going to also be using a pencil, an eraser, and of course I'll be using two water buckets, one for cleaning and one for dipping my brushes in. And as for the brushes, I'm using a 2-inch flat, some fine brushes, a number 2, which I'll be mostly using some flats, and a number 8 brush. I'll also be using some watercolors for this one. I'm steering away from gouache this time, and this is Daniel Smith, both Daniel Smith paints. One of them is a custom, and the other is, this one is the ultimate mixing set, which I bought from Amazon. The other one I bought from architect Alan J. Quesada. He has a YouTube page as well, and he has excellent tutorials on watercolor, and his landscapes are sublime. So go ahead and check him out. I'll be putting a link to his page down below. And also, speaking of pages, you can also follow me on YouTube and Instagram. I'm also showing you right here my big palette, just in case I use some of the colors from that palette as well. So now let's get started with the painting. First, I want to find the horizon line. I first start with finding exactly where the half of the paper is, and then I divide vertically into 3, because there's going to be 3 parts to this: the land masses on the right, the land mass on the left, and now I'm drawing in the bridge. The bridge is pretty short. It's probably a step bridge just to connect the 2 land masses. I'm not sure how long it is, or maybe we're just very far from it. I also want to define where the land masses end, so I can define that later when I do the reflections and the water. I'm also putting in a little bit of trees, since this is a smaller piece of paper. It's not gonna have as much trees as the original painting, but we're gonna do our best. Here we go. More trees and some bushes and more bushes as well. You know what? I wish I could be like Bob Ross. He does excellent paintings, and his mind just, landscape just explode from his mind. And I mean, he does it all with oil paint, a 2-inch brush, and a palette knife. So now I have erased some of the unnecessary lines from my painting. I want to start doing some painting. I am reaching now for my number 8 brush, or my flat. I decided to do the flats because I want to also discuss some of the groupings that I will have. The top will be the cooler colors, the pinks, the blues, and that's going to be the sky. Underneath is going to be water, so it's going to be mostly blue and purples. And then the left and the right side of the bridge will be both in warmer colors, warmer autumn tones, like the oranges, the yellows, and the greens as well. So first, I'm going to be wetting the top and the bottom of the bridge, just to make sure that I am defining where the bridge is in my painting, so it doesn't get lost when I start painting at all. So now, there we go. I'm going to try to do the top part, paint the top parts first, and then later we'll do the reflections in the bottom. So now I switched over to a smaller brush and mixing in some blue. I'm defining the bottom part of the bridge, the underside of the bridge, with a little blue, so I know where my waterline starts. Alright, and now we're also doing a little bit of the water, but I'm not going to continue it all the way down because yes, we're going to be doing a lot of the painting of the water later on. So now I'm doing the sky, and I am mixing in blues and pinks. And it's looking a little bit bright right now, but always remember that watercolors dry lighter than it's supposed to be than when you do it. So don't get too nervous. It's gonna dry beautiful later on. You can also always tone it down with a little bit of water, but I really like it this way. Now I'm going to be attacking this left and right sides with the bright Hansa yellow. Yes, it's too bright for now, but then you can tone it. We will tone it down later with the oranges and the reds, and it will also remind yourself that yellow is very, very light when it dries, so it will dry lighter. And I wanted to put it at this point so it blends a little bit with the pinks to create that beautiful orange tone, light orange tone. And that's the mood for the painting. So for now, I want to be doing the middle part, which is all in green. So I'm going to use local color for this one. And I was using Green Apatite Genuine for this one. That's right, Green Apatite Genuine for this one. And I wanted to make sure that the land masses are painted before I do anything. And I darkened it up a bit with Undersea Green. And I let them all mix together. And I made sure that I had a little bit of room in between the land masses, so the water can flow through in the middle. And I made sure that they are very, very green. And I mix a little bit of yellow to lighten them up, because I know that the sunlight has hit them as well. So now I also put a little bit of blue, darken up the shadows of the land masses, and in the bottom as well. Here we go. Now I wanted to paint a little bit the underside of the bridge a little bit darker, because there's a shadow over there underneath the bridge. So I also want to skip a little and do the waters in purples and blues. I am using a little bit of Imperial Purple for this one, just to do the shadows of the water. Now I am using a James Gray and a little bit of Van Dyke Brown for the underside of the bridge. I want to be able to leave a little bit of the bridge up to the top of the bridge, because it's the focal point of the picture. So I want darkest dark and lightest light to be seen in that part of the painting. So I'm blending it out a little bit more. Aussie red gold and some other orangey reds, and putting it on all over where the yellows are supposed to, where that yellow is. As you can see now, the yellow is drying much lighter than it was before. Now, putting foliage, dotting the foliage like that is tedious, so it's gonna take a while for me to do. So I'm going to be switching out late in a bit into a new brush, but then for now this is going to be fine. Alright, speaking of foliage, how do you like autumn? Autumn is one of my favorites seasons in the out of all the 4 seasons. I think autumn is more beautiful than spring. Spring is too how do you call it, HD. It's too colorful for me, so I love autumn more. It's more muted, it's more brown, it's more earthy, and I just love the colors of autumn. And I've been doing a lot of paintings, a lot of drawings with the autumn theme in it, just because I love how it looks. I have yet to start another painting with a spring fit theme on it, and it's going to be my first spring theme painting, and it's going to be in a huge F10 size painting. F10 is about 20 or 16 by 18 or something like that, and it's going to be tulips in Holland. And I'm going to be giving it to my niece Mappy, who really loves paintings as well. Speaking of Mappy, she also wants to be in the channel, so maybe one of these days we'll be filming together and we'll be painting together, and you'll be seeing her a lot in my channel painting with me. Alright, so right now we want to do the reflection since I've done the tops. And I also want to do the middle of the trees wherein it's orange, as in the original painting. I don't know what I was thinking when I was doing that painting, and so I'm just copying it right now. So this side of the painting seems to have a little bit more green to it, so I'm going to be doing that in a bit. So yeah, there it is, the green side. And I have no idea what I was thinking when I was doing that as well, but then it worked. So now I'm adding some of the orange leaves to the trees and to the bushes. And since this is taking so long, I want to find my scrubber brush. It's a brush that I made because for foliage in particularly. It's actually just a brush that is an old brush that I cut, and roughly the ends roughly just to, there it is, the scrubber brush that cuts the edge roughly, and I use it to dot like that, the foliage, and it makes my life so much more easier. It's a hack, it's a cheat, but you know what, it gets the job done. So there we go. Bop 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 bop. I'm gonna let you watch me bop 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 this the foliage for a while, and I'll talk to you in a little bit. Well, now that we're done bopping and putting in some leaves, we're going to now put in a little bit of the trees. I'm testing out the browns right now. That's a sepia. To make sure that I darken the trees up a little bit more, because it's getting a little bit lost in that wet water, wet paper earlier, and I like it that way just because it gives it like a wispy state. But yeah, I'd rather it be seen rather than hidden. So here we go, darkening up the trees with a little bit of sepia. And the painting is not looking so bad right now, so I think we should go ahead and do some of the reflections soon. So wait, I'm still doing the trees. That one's a fat tree. Okay. Well, reflections are not so hard if you think about it. What I do for reflection is, what I like to do is actually try to mimic the top from the bottom. So what we're going to do is we're going to mimic the colors and the shapes, and we're going to flip the whole thing so we can mimic the lines that we made. So we have a tree here and another tree there. Okay, and another one, short one here. It doesn't really matter how long you make it, because reflections, they vary in length. But apparently I pushed them all the way down. There we go, we have reflections. Wow. Oops. Okay, so now we're ready to paint the bottom of the page. So we're going to now mimic the colors from the top to the bottom, but the bottom should be a little bit more muted. And it's okay if some of the lines are lost. It's fine, because it's a reflection. It's supposed to be wavy and wibbly wobbly, and not at all, and the water is not at all that calm. So here I am trying to mimic some colors from the original painting, and I think we're now going to start painting the water. I'm using a cerulean blue again, and I am starting from the bottom, which I am off camera right now. And I'm doing a gradient going up and just wishy-washy, doing lines, wishing-washing towards the bottom. And I think the paper is still a little damp, so I'm trying to blend it out as much as I can. And as you can see, I'm leaving a lot of the waves white and adding a little bit bloom to the top so it looks prettier. Alright, and I'm now deciding whether to add a little bit more of the colors, and I think at this point I used the big palette and used the turquoise blue from that palette because I really like it, and just lifted a little bit of color from it with a dry paper towel. Now we're going to the details. Detailing this is fun. We're just going to use a cobalt green, darker green, any kind of darker green, mixed with a little bit of yellow so it's not so stark dark, and draw in the grass. With a fine brush, just pull up and draw in grass wherever you see fit. Don't forget to define the ends of your land masses so they don't look like they're floating. So yeah, if you get the land masses too dark, what you can do is just use that color and pull up and use that for your grass, so it's gonna be consistent as well. There you go. Just pull, 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 pull. And I'm gonna let you watch me do the grass in a bit. At this point, I realized that there is a bit of discrepancy when it comes to the colors of the so I grabbed a bit of yellow and put yellow on this landmass, and grabbed a bit of blue to darken that other landmass, because that's how it is in the original picture. And yeah, hope that it works. Now the reflections are looking a little wonky, so I decided to darken it all up with the Van Dyke brown and add a little bit more color to the reflections as well. Now I realize that there is something missing from the reflections, which are the greens. So I added green so it looks like we're reflecting the land masses as well. There we go. Pull down, and that's how you do a reflection. Of course, there's other better ways to do it, but this is my way, and this is the simplest way, and I'm still learning a lot, so yeah. I'm hoping that you are learning too with this video. If you guys like what you see and, kind of want to learn with me and paint with me, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you can see what else I have been doing and what else I'm doing. I'm also planning to do a series of studies, so that's something to look forward to as well in my channel. And some art material reviews. I did that before, and so it's gonna be something to look forward to. I am currently doing a bit of adding a lot of foliage to the top of my paintings, just because I feel that it's lacking, and I feel also that the bottom of my painting lacks yellow, so I'll be using the same scrubber brush to just put yellow on my painting. And I believe that I am finished. I think I am. So I am going to see. I removed the tape, and here it is. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you really liked it, again, click the thumbs up and ring the bell so you get to see what I'm up to. Alright, here it is for today. Thank you, and bye.